Yeah, I'm calling this meeting to order. This is the Laredo-Webb County Area Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Committee, and we're meeting virtually through a live web link, which is Laredo, Texas, well, laredotx.swagit.com/forward/live public access channel, Spectrum TV channel 1300. Today, July 20th, 2020, and it's 1:32 p.m. And moving forward, roll call, please. Mr. Steidman or Ms. Guerra?
Yes, Ms.
Sure.
Guerra?
I'll be happy to. Pete Sines,
Present.
Norma Nelly Vielma, Dr. Marta Martinez, George Algeld, Tano E. Tijerina,
Present.
Jesse Gonzalez, John Galo,
Present.
and David M. Salazar.
Present.
For the record, we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Ms. Guerra. Yeah, moving forward, thank you all, gentlemen, commissioners, for joining. Citizens' comments. Do we have any comments from anyone, Mr. Steidman?
Mayor, we'll put the phone line up on so that it's able to be viewed by the public, although our public access channel is not currently broadcasting. There may be some issue on their end. And so, Vanessa, if you can try to call over there and ask them to begin the broadcast.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll proceed, and then as we get calls, we can bring them forward.
Well, when it starts broadcasting, we'll need to come back to this just to make sure the public sees this and is able to call in if they would like.
Okay, so the number is 794-1604. The area code is 956. Again, 794-1604. And you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, moving on to items requiring policy committee action. Approval of the minutes for the virtual meeting held on June 15th.
For the record, Mayor, Marta Martinez is here.
Oh, Doctor, yeah, welcome, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so we're on. Okay, this motion.
Mayor,
Okay.
on letter A.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes of June 15th, 2020. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Galo. Discussion. Not heard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I presume I see a show of hands as well. So all those against, sound out. No one against. All those motion carried. B, receive public testimony and approve resolution number MPO 2020-09, adopting the 2021 Unified Planning Work Program.
Kirby, I apologize for the interruption. We got word from Public Access, and they say that they are broadcasting live.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So again, whoever's viewing, and if you wish to make a comment, please do so by calling in. And there's a number. I guess the number is being indicated. Mr. Steidman, do you know? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
794-1604. And we'll wait a minute or two, and if not, we can proceed also. And then if there is a call, we'll come back to this. If there's no objections from the other committee members.
Yes, sir. We will let you know if somebody calls in.
Okay, then. So continuing, again, item B, public testimony. So do we need to open that for a public hearing?
The public hearing was already open at the last meeting, and there was some discussion on this item at the last meeting. We opened the public hearing, which has stayed open, and we have received no public comment on this item. We would ask that you approve the resolution, and if there's any discussion I can answer, I can provide
So
more.
close public testimony and approve resolution number MPO 2020-09.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second to that? I would ask people that are not speaking, please mute your mics.
Second.
Okay, there's a second. I think we missed part of your last statement, Dr. It's basically your motion to approve, correct?
So to close public testimony, Mayor, and to approve the resolution.
Okay, and seconded by Commissioner Gala. Discussion. Not heard. All those in favor say aye by show of hands or sound off.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sound off. Not heard. Motion carries unanimously. The next item is discussion with possible action on the repair of IH-35 Delmore Access Road and underpass surface.
Mayor, may I ask Mr. Kirby, what exactly is this even doing on here? This is all internal stuff. This is the kind of stuff that, I mean, and it just seems like these kind of little things, I mean, why can't it just be a phone call away, like everybody else does? Why do we have to bring this on and I mean, to protect us to be doing this? I don't, explain to me, please.
Judge Tijerina, I'm glad you asked that because I think it would be good for the policy committee to provide some clarification to staff on how you would like us to add items to the agenda. Currently, any policy committee member who wants to add an item simply lets me know and I put it on. And of course, the agenda goes through the mayor for approval, so he has the final authority on this. But if you would like, as a committee, you can decide how to change this. Maybe it's only the mayor that puts items on and you speak with him if you want to add an item. Or, you can change it if you want. But right now, any policy committee member indicates to staff that they want an item on the agenda and it goes on the agenda.
Well, and what I guess where I'm coming from is that this particular council member has, I mean, since I'm pretty much on the meetings quite a bit, I just don't understand why in the world do we put something on when he's absent most of the time. And this is the kind of stuff that I just feel like we're just kind of spinning our wheels, wasting our time on. The committee should be doing something about this. And I think this is just a phone call away to David Salazar or whatever. David, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I mean, I just think this would be handled a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot better, smoothly than the way we're doing it right now.
Mayor, if I may, this is David Salazar, and I would like to
Go ahead, sir.
kindly remind Mr. Snyderman that is correct. The agendas for these MPO is basically for project selection. We work in hand with the city to propose projects coming up. I'm not exactly sure what this item was or what it entails, but it looks like it's a maintenance item within TxDOT itself. I would have to echo what the judge said in the past. I've had several members call me, pick up the phone, and we can look into it without having to waste somebody's time at this meeting and bring it up. I'm not sure what the problem is with this, but it doesn't have very much to it. But I would have to echo the same sentiment that Mr. Tano Tijina is that is not the direction of the MPO nor the purpose of the MPO. And I would kindly remind Mr. Snyderman that putting agendas like this on there when we're opposing them in the technical committee is something that we really need to look at. Again, this is an issue that can probably be resolved by a quick phone call to resolve this issue without spending everybody's time on this meeting.
Okay, since it was sponsored by Council Member George Holgett, and obviously he's not here, I would table this, or at least, is there a motion to table? And I'll talk to Councilman Holgett on this, and hopefully, we can work this thing out. So your motion is to table, sir? Dr. Marte?
Yeah, my motion is to table, but please, until the next meeting.
Okay, and by then I'll visit with Councilmember Holgett, see if it's still pertinent. So there's a motion. Is there a second? And I would second that. So all those in favor say aye or sound
Aye.
off. Any opposed? None opposed.
Judge, may I?
Yeah,
may I
motion
just-
carries. Yeah, go ahead.
just quickly, I do like the fact that that committee members are able to add their specific agenda items on here. I think the mayor or whatever chair always has the ability to contact the individual committee members and talk to them about an item ahead of time. That way we can decide if there's something that can be done earlier. Sometimes phone calls are made and nothing occurs. And I've seen that a couple times. And so I think having a public discussion about some things is important. But I think more often than not, things can be worked out, as the judge is saying. Now, as far as the status of repairs, I think our policy committee is geared towards the plans, if you were, the planification of the community and the roads. But sometimes we have to go back and make sure that we realize that part of the plan is making sure that the current infrastructure is working correctly. And so we could be planning a million roads out on the outskirts of the city or the county. But if the main roads in the city and the county aren't working, then that still is just as important as building new roads. Because if the current infrastructure isn't working, it's important to go back, revisit that, and see if there's any updates, repairs, or improvements that can be made to the inferior infrastructure that may exist that may be causing significant mobility problems for our community. And so I just would caution, not thinking that it's not important or vital to revisit these things. And I do think that sometimes a simple phone call is enough, but sometimes a public discourse is necessary. And so just, I would, maybe it's been repetitive with certain people, but I do think it's important to be able to have that ability to do that going forward for all of us.
Mayor, if I can add, this is Tito Gonzalez, TPD Director for TxDOT. I do want to add that we do in fact have a 4-year, to add on what Councilman Marta Martinez mentioned, we do have a 4-year pavement and preservation plan for the district that we would be happy to share with anybody on the council with. This specific area in question actually does have a mill and inlay project scheduled for February of 2021 on the West Furnace Road, from Scott Street all the way to north of Shiloh. Again, what David said and what Mr. Judd said, that is something that can be, discussed with a phone call or email. We did reach out to Councilman Alguet to get further clarification on this item, but we did not hear back from him. But again, we're always a phone call away, email away to discuss whatever plans or questions you all may have. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we need to go to the next item now, and that may take a little time. I know Judge Tano Tejerina has another commitment at 2 o'clock. So yeah, so the next item is discussion with possible action on the Chad Ruthinger Road. Yes, go ahead. And
Yes.
briefly call upon.
Good afternoon. This is Guillermo Coyat, Assistant County Engineer. As far as Webb County is concerned, an update would be that we are working with TxDOT in working out some of the environmental documents and just fixing some minor issues, but that's the only update that we have so far.
Okay, I think the lingering question has been the title of, the issue of title, whether that's been resolved or is it will be resolved shortly. And I know Mr. Ramon Chavez had been dealing with that. Mr. Chavez, are you on? Ramon?
Yes, sir. Honorable Mayor and members of the committee. Ramon Chavez, City Engineer. I do have an update through an email, Mayor, from Mr. Van Steenberg. And he says that they've gone back and forth several times now with a draft agreement, and it's all on track. He says they're working out the details on the title policies and other legal issues, and he thinks that they will have a final in a few days to begin signing. He then mentioned that after that, they will be then moving forward to survey the parcels within 30 days so they can file the swap of the deeds quickly. That's the update from him. Go ahead, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there won't be any financial impact on the city nor the county, right? It's all handled through them, the private.
My understanding is it's internal, Mayor. They're handling it internally.
Right.
And ultimately, I think everything's been agreed in principle, and all they have to do now is finish the little detail work. At least that's what my understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
That's
and
you had some other information. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If I may, Mayor, and we'll stay in communication with Mr. Van Steenberg as far as that is concerned. The other thing I do want to mention is that we received an amendment to an AFA from TxDOT on July the 10th. And this is to incorporate funding from the root tenure portion that was under one of the CSJs. So there's a resolution that will be needed by City Council to authorize to enter into amending that AFA and provide that local match. And we're reviewing that through City Manager's office.
Can you explain what that is one more time? So this is an additional money from the city?
Yes, it's basically, and TxDOT is on the call. I know we've been working with them. Maybe they'll be able to explain it a little bit better. But there's funding under a CSJ previously done with the county, and those the 21.4 million have not been tied into an AFA. So therefore, TxDOT is proposing an amendment which has already been sent to our city manager, and we're discussing that with them to incorporate those funds from the root tenure portion into the HR portion, which was the original AFA with the city. I hope that explains it.
Okay, so from the standpoint of this committee, it's just informational from the
Yes, sir.
MPO.
Yes, sir. And again, we received that amendment to that AFA from TxDOT, and it was sent to our city manager. And I'm discussing that internally with our assistant city manager.
This is Tito Gonzalez from TxDOT. Just to add on to that, Mayor and Councilman, in going back to the records and reviewing the STIP, as we do every year with the MPO staff, we found that $21.4 million that was approved by the MPO back in June of 2016 was never formally adopted to an AFA agreement with TxDOT. So in doing that, this AFA amendment, we're just trying to tie up everything and make sure that our books and finances and everything is properly documented. And along with that 21.4 million, there will be a local match that Mr. Chavez was speaking of that the city will be needing to look into as well.
Okay, when you say the city, and I know the county has been partnering with us to the extent that they can as well, but is it primarily exclusively the city's responsibility, or is there law, or how does that work? Is it you mentioned the city, but I know the county's been kind of partnering this with us. Not that they can at this point because I know they're hurting, but who knows? Is it specifically the city that's liable, or is it open to arrangements?
I believe at this time, arrangements, I know there has been some arrangements on this HR Ruthinger project as far as the divvying of specific responsibilities, as far as environmental clearance, schematic development, and construction. So we would leave that up to the city and the county, however you'll wish to agree with that.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Chavez.
Yes, no, and those are part of the discussions that I'll be having with management and our assistant city manager, just to make sure that if we're totally responsible for this local match.
Okay, keep in mind, sometime back, I know, and Judge Nathan was very familiar with this too. I think the matching portion was very limited, reduced, I think, to 4.5% because I think we qualified as a economically depressed area or whatever. But now apparently we've gotten better. At least someone thinks so. Now with the COVID, I think we're probably worse. But now I think the cost sharing assistance is what, 20%, Mr. Chavez? They're asking 20%.
20%, Mayor.
Yeah, which is significantly greater. So anyway, Judge, I know you're there, and Commissioner Galo, expect a phone call from management, I guess, to see what you all can do, if anything. Like I say, any little bit from the county would help, since it is benefiting, both the city and the county. But maybe it merits a meeting with city manager and your office, Judge, and we can take it from there. So for
Yes, sir, that's not a problem at all. We'll work on that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Judge. Okay, so anything else on this? So the title issue is being worked out, and hopefully But let me ask you this, going back to June 2016, so we missed out on that lower cost sharing rate or percentage, or we were able to capitalize on that, and then the balance is going to be 20%. So maybe you can figure that out, Ramon, and maybe, and I know Nathan was very much on it sometime back.
Yes, sir. We'll make sure and reach out to Nathan.
Okay.
Mayor, may I be heard?
Yes, go ahead, please.
If we're moving as quickly as we are, finally, kind of, the bureaucracy moves, but we're moving pretty quick. The question is, on the city side, Mr. Chavez, are we supposed to be looking for a design team already, considering environmental so close to being done?
Those are things that we're discussing with TxDOT as well. I know we've already sent them a draft for the request for qualifications, and we received some comments. So we're already ready pretty much to go out on that and start looking for a firm.
I want to make sure that, it took a while to get here, but now that we're here, let's not have any hiccups. So let's be ready to go on the design aspect of this from the city's perspective. And I guess from anybody, how close is this environmental? How close are we to a FONSI? How quick, or what are we talking now?
This is Guillermo Coyat from Webb County. We anticipate something being complete by December of this year.
Thank you very much.
Okay, complete from the standpoint of what?
I'm sorry, of getting the FONSI. It should be complete by the end of the year.
Okay. And then we can proceed with construction?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Okay, then. Anything else on this item? And if not, I guess it's, what else do we have? The RMA? Yeah, VA, status report by the Regional Mobility Authority. Is
Yes,
anyone present?
we received a report from the RMA, and we've included that in the packet. And so you
Right.
had a chance to review that. So, Mr. Rodriguez, they have what you sent. If you want to add anything to that, otherwise, if that's sufficient, then we don't need to go into any more additional.
Well, thanks, Kirby. Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Mayor, Judge, members of the Policy Committee. Always a pleasure to see all of y'all.
Welcome.
As Kirby stated, we did have to provide our status report, and I'll just kind of blast through that really fast. We do have a board meeting scheduled this Thursday at 10 a.m., and it'll be also virtual, as we are doing here today. I forwarded a WebEx invite to Kirby, and it's already posted on our website and our agenda with the actual WebEx information. All are invited. As far as an overall update, on the projects that the RMA is currently leading, Killam Industrial Boulevard turn lanes, we're working with TxDOT for the letting of that project. In our last update we got from the state was we're looking at a November letting. TxDOT has 100% plans on our part as for the full city package. Right away for that project is actually well in hand. I believe it just got approved by Planning and Zoning last week. So we're looking at right away completion by the end of this month. Utilities are also well in hand in this project. We're anticipating, well, number one, water line relocation by the city of Laredo. That is, construction has started on that item. And we're looking at completion of that this month, as well as also for completion for the other utilities by the middle of next month. So we feel that project's well in hand and right on track for the November letting. For Los Presidentes, another project that we're also teaming with the city of Laredo on, as well as the Webb County Drainage District. We've received 95% plans, and that has been forwarded on to the city of Laredo. We're looking at a fall letting for that project. So hopefully looking to turn dirt or start construction of that project late this year, early next year. Very good news. On the other project that the RMA is leading is Biofuel Road, working, of course, with the city of Laredo and other partners. Current status of that project, we're actually going to start doing some geotech boreholes on the proposed alignment of that project this month. And looking to take the next steps in the traffic study component of that project to determine how much traffic the road will actually receive over the next 20 years, and refine our pavement design accordingly for that project. That's the current status of work we have ongoing. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kirby. Oh,
Do we have any questions? Yeah, I know you've been handling some on the south. Weren't you partnering or leading some of that too, the RMA?
yes, sir. I believe you're referring to the Presidentes project on the southeast area of Laredo.
Right.
Yes, that project, like I said, is 95% design. We've received those plans from our consultant, and also those plans have been forwarded to the city of Laredo for their review as well.
Okay.
And we're looking at a fall letting by the city of Laredo in that project. So hopefully start construction at the end of this year or early next year.
Okay then. Any further business for this committee, for the MPO? And if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
It's a motion to adjourn, seconded by Dr. Marta Martinez. Judge, you had your wish.
You already left the meeting, Mayor.
Okay. So that tells it all then. Okay then. Yeah,
Your audio.
it's adjourned. Thank you very much.